Welcome back, friends, or welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we have some laundry, yard, and decluttering motivation for you today. As you can see, I've already got the bed stripped and all the bedding is still in the washer and dryer, but I've got a load already done, so let's get this folded and put away. I usually do the folding down in the laundry room. However, summer has officially hit Texas and it is super hot. So I'm bringing everything upstairs and folding this in the AC. But I am so happy summer is finally here because I am over all these storms and rain. And for me, summer means I get to spend time with my son. And as of today, his flights have been booked. So he will be spending most of July with us. My son really wanted to take a road trip, so we are going to be going to Alabama to visit my sister. And if it's in the cards, we also would like to go up to Tennessee to see the Nashville area, but that hasn't been set in stone just yet. And we also want to go on a day trip to the river where we can float down the river and also try to find some treasures with underwater metal detecting. All right, moving on to the bedding. Everything is washed and dried. And of course, there's always somebody on the bed when I need to make it. Come on, off the bed. Come on. Off. Put her off. Come on. My Parker, he's such a sweet boy. And he is so big, so it is hard for him to get up and down off this bed. So I felt a little guilty having to get him down. And it's funny because I am not a fan of having dogs on the bed. But Ryan suckered me in on allowing it, so here we are. Oh, and speaking of dogs, you know we have 5 in the household. We have 3 and my sister-in-law has 2. And if you've been around a while and saw my last video, you may have noticed a new member in the house. A third corgi. Well, I think she's corgi and maybe a Pomeranian mix. Her name is Leia and she's about 5 years old. And I kid you not, the very first day that she came here, she acted like she's always known us. And she gets along with all the other dogs, except, of course, my little problem child, Lily, my pit bull. But Leia seems to fit in perfectly. So if you haven't seen her, check out my last video. I know it's hard to see, but it is actually getting really late. Ryan is down in the kitchen making dinner, so I've got to finish up making this bed, folding the last load of laundry, and then we'll move on to another day, which is going to be a little bit of yard work. And as some of you know, I have a bad back, and lately I have not been sleeping well. And with lack of sleep, it causes me more anxiety. My back gets easily aggravated, and everything just seems to be breaking down. So, as I'm doing this voiceover, I am laid up in bed. And I'm trying to be enthusiastic, but I am in so much pain. And when I try to get up to walk, I'm unable to stand up straight. I have to walk with my knees slightly bent, and with every step I take, my back threatens to completely give out. And getting comfortable is almost impossible. In the last few days, my pain has been increasing tremendously. I'm usually pretty good at listening to my body and not overdoing it. And although I was in more pain, I didn't feel like it was at the point where I had to worry. But when I woke up the next day, fed and cleaned up after all the animals, my back completely gave out. But hopefully in a couple days, I'll be up and running again. But this is why I wanted to start this channel. For those who have debilitating injuries or illnesses, who are like me in constant pain, but still want to keep a clean and tidy home, a lot of times I have to do what I can when I can. And when you can relate to having limitations, I want to be an encouragement to those who struggle like I do and know that you're not alone. And I also want to say, at times it can be so incredibly discouraging and beyond frustrating when your body doesn't allow you to do the things that you've always taken for granted. So if you're in this situation, just remember to pace yourself and just do what you can when you can. It always cracks me up watching Parker entertain himself. He's so funny. He just loves his tennis ball. I don't know, seeing my animals happy just makes me so happy. And let me tell you, I am so beyond grateful that we are able to have as many animals as we have Most of our animals came from shelters, and we have a couple that have been abandoned. So having the space in our hearts and our home is such a blessing. All right, we are just about done with the laundry. I'm just going to put this away, put the throw blanket back on the bed, put the laundry baskets back where they belong, and then we will head outside. I can't stand seeing laundry baskets, so I keep mine behind our little sofa. And it just makes it easier to toss everything behind the sofa rather than messing with the gate to get through the closet. All right, moving on to the next day. Like I said earlier, we have had so much rain this spring, so our whole property has gotten away from us. So now that the rain has finally passed, now we have to deal with the humidity and high temperatures. We started a little after 7 in the morning and it was already in the 80s. And being that we only have this push mower and a couple of weed whackers and almost 3 acres of land, we can only focus on the areas we use the most. And we had already gotten what we call our front lawn. So today we'll focus on knocking down this portion of the lawn, which we call our back lawn. Ryan is trying to knock down some of the taller stuff, so when I go over it, the mower won't bog down. And on top of that, this mower does need new wheels, so it was a little harder than usual to be pushing this thing. And this back portion of the lawn is on a slope, so I'm going to do the top half and I'm going to let Ryan do the bottom half. So I'm curious to know. I'm a big fan of watching lawn transformations. I find it to be very relaxing, and I do actually really love going out here and mowing all the lawn. But what I want to know is if you enjoy it. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more lawn mowing, or should I just keep it short and sweet? So as Ryan's tackling this bottom half, I'm going to be picking up some trash. But when I came out, it was so windy, my bag flew away from me. And if it wasn't for all this overgrowth, I probably would have had to chase it all the way to the end of the property, which I am actually scared of going on to the other half of the property because there is a creek behind us and we have a lot of snakes, and copperheads are one of those snakes. So, note to self, use a bucket next time on a windy day. Ryan is just about done with the mowing. And even though there was a lot more to get done, at this point it was getting just way too hot. So he's going to finish up by edging along the side of the deck. And then we're going to move back inside for a little decluttering. All right, so this trunk, coffee table, whatever you want to call it, one side I have supplies, and on the other side is basically my junk drawer. So I have a habit of keeping boxes. I try not to keep them for too long, but there has been occasions where I've needed to return things. So I try to keep the boxes just long enough to know if I need to return it or not. So I'm gonna get rid of all the empty boxes, and then there's a lot of just odds and ends in here. This bag had a couple of remotes and a charging station for Brian's PS5 remote controls, and some empty cartridges for my son's airsoft gun. And everything I'm going to be throwing away, I'm putting in this laundry basket. This small bin here has a bunch of little odds and ends, so I'm trying to figure out what we can use and what we never use or is broken. I did find a little kitty toy I tossed out, and Cleopatra was on it. All the things that I'm pulling out and putting to the right of me is stuff that just needs to be relocated. There's a couple of tea candles, some bandages, some personal hygiene stuff, and a detail sander kit, which I completely forgot I had bought. It was brand new. And I have this book that my mom was featured in. It's a cookbook. And being that my mom is Italian, she had talked about some of her Italian family's recipes. So that will be added to the books on top of my coffee table. These yellow boxes here, I will be keeping. Those are Ryan's. He does love his watches, and these are his watch boxes. Cell phone boxes. Who here, raise your hand if you keep your cell phone boxes? It seems like these are the hardest to throw away. This bag here is my son's. I've had this for many, many, many years. It's full of rocks. I had already asked him the last time he was here if he wanted them, and he didn't, so I put them in my room. I just didn't have the heart to toss them out, but I am ready, so out they go. So here is everything I am going to be tossing. And this next pile we will be relocating. And remember what it looked like before? Just packed full of boxes and junk. And now everything is organized and easy to see. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And if you would, hit that like button. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I know this is a short one, but I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye.